From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 27th, 2016. Israel's security agency, the Shin, revealed today their arrest of an Arab-Israeli man suspected of planning a terror attack in Jerusalem. The 25-year-old was named as Mahmoud Musa Abbasi, a resident of East Jerusalem. He was arrested 3 weeks ago in a joint operation between the Shin Bet and Israel police and indicted in a Jerusalem court today on various charges, including conspiracy to commit a terrorist attack in Jerusalem. Abbasi is said to have planned a shooting against Israeli security forces and civilians in East Jerusalem. He also allegedly had tried to purchase weapons for the attack. The Shin Bet said that Abbasi had supported terror group Hamas and was involved in several other attacks in the past against IDF forces, including throwing Molotov cocktails and stones at Israeli troops. The Shin Bet said the arrest of Abbasi, who as a resident had access to the entire city, prevented a serious attack in the city of Jerusalem. Indictments were filed yesterday against a group of 13 Jewish right-wing extremists for incitement to violence and other charges. The 13 allegedly led dances at a wedding seeming to celebrate a terror attack that took place on a Palestinian family just months before. If you recall, footage from the December of 2015 wedding was released, making headlines on Israel's Channel 10, seeming to laud the firebombing of the Dawabsha family in the town of Duma on July the 31st of that year, an attack that left a baby and his parents dead and is thought to have been carried out by Jewish right-wing extremists. Among those indicted at the Jerusalem Magistrates Court yesterday was the groom. He and 12 others are charged with incitement to violence, supporting a terror group, racist incitement, and weapons offenses. While Jewish organizations continue to express their outrage over the recent UNESCO vote that ignores Jewish ties to Jerusalem. As we reported to you yesterday in Paris, the World Heritage Committee of UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, adopted a resolution similar to one adopted earlier this month by UNESCO's executive board that, like it, ignores Jewish ties to the religious sites of Jerusalem, namely the Temple Mount. The resolution passed with 10 countries voting in favor, 2 opposing, and 8 abstaining. President of B'nai B'rith International, Gary Saltzman, said of the vote that UNESCO is once again abandoning its own mission by denying fundamental truth and engaging in political warfare against the legitimacy of the only democratic nation in the Middle East. He said the Temple Mount has always been the holiest site for Jews, and this attack on the Jewish faith exemplifies the deep-seated anti-Semitic and anti-Israel bias that has been exported from the Middle East to the UN. Leaders of the Antidefamation League, National Chair Marvin Nathan and CEO Jonathan Greenblatt said, charged with protecting and implementing the World Heritage Convention, the UNESCO World Heritage Committee has endorsed a false depiction of one of the world's most ancient holy sites. They said to ignore or deny the Jewish connection to the Temple Mount is to ignore or deny what makes Jerusalem so holy and resonant for the world, including the Christian community. Tomorrow, Friday, October the 28th, marks 30 days since former Israeli Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, and President Shimon Peres was laid to rest. And as is observed in Jewish tradition, his tombstone will be unveiled in a ceremony for the Shloshim, 30 in Hebrew, tomorrow at Mount Herzl in Jerusalem. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, along with family and friends of the Peres family, will attend. The black tombstone bears several quotes, including one by Israel's first Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion, as well as from the book of Isaiah and from a poem by Chaim Nachman Bialik. Peres is described on the gravestone as one of the founding fathers of the state, which he served his entire life. We will have more on the Peres unveiling in tomorrow's newscast. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, October the 27th. At 7 o'clock, Talmud study with Rabbi Mordechai Becker. At 7:30, a discussion of the future of American Jewry and its relationship with Israel with Russell Robinson of the Jewish National Fund, Abe Foxman of the ADL, Malcolm Hoenlein of the President's Conference, Janice Weinman of Hadassah, and Elliot Cosgrove of the Park Avenue Synagogue. That's from the 2016 JNF National Conference in New York. Then at 9, Mark Golub sits down with Russell Robinson on L'chaim. And at 10, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs speaks at the 92nd Street Y. Coming up right after this newscast tonight, Executive Director of Stand With Us Northeast, Shachar Azani, talks about the UNESCO vote in Paris where he was in attendance. When I sit in for Mark Golub on tonight's In the News. That's next at 6:30. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 27th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.